What's up, my Marvel friends? Excelsior! We are here with a video of my first thoughts about Ironheart before she drops. And before we get going, I want to say I am actually not a fan of Ironheart. Yes, and before your fake outrage get out of hand, like certain people on the internet. Now, before I give my take, I'm going to play this clip and give it an earnest. Really, at the end of this clip, there's certain points that I want to just really focus on. The end of the clip. What he says at the very end of the clip is honestly how people really feel, but I'll let him speak for himself because he's completely just spewing out his own little knowledge of information that he does not have because he does not know what the fuck he's talking about. But it's very interesting to get his perspective.
Okay.
Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable.
Yeah.
Something
Important.
iconic.
But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
This is a
Just
Marvel
getting off a hell of a
movie?
lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot.
What the hell?
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
Well, no wonder Marvel tried to bury this show. Oh my god. You can tell a character's truly smart when they're told directly in the show the character's smart. Ironheart getting more screen time than War Machine ever did is crazy. The greatest thing about the show is it's actually being released. So it sure seems like a lot of people aren't liking the show. Nobody knows who the fuck Ironheart is. Like, if you're taking your traditional superhero and you're putting it out to like a huge wide, you know, like Marvel Disney level audience, you have to do it with characters that the parents of the kids grew up with. Like, that's Ironheart created was 2016.
I want to stop right there. What he's talking about is you're releasing a major property and you want to get latched on to people. And yes, legacy characters. We're all talking about legacy characters, which is hilarious because if you pay attention to what he just said, he kind of explains. Here, just listen one more time.
Characters that the parents of the kids grew up with. Like, that's audience. You have to do it with characters that the parents of the kids grew up with. Like,
The parents of the kids grew up with. So he's trying to say, because she's not Iron Man 2, she wouldn't get it. And if that was like the obvious barrier of entry, then he just left it there. It's okay. But what he says at the very end here kind of really just kind of like what he's really thinking, in my personal opinion. I feel like this is his way of trying to like soften the blow for what he originally says at the very end of this clip. And I want you to pay close attention to the very end of the clip. Let's get past the whole she's a new character. She is a new character. It's complete effing obvious. So we'll just let that go because he's unaware of that. But let's get to this very end here.
Backing off of Iron Man, right? And so you are going to have people that are automatically distrustful because of that. Now, why are people distrustful of that?
Again, while we're waiting here, she's not piggybacking off Iron Man, considering that she's not attached to Iron Man. Peter Parker's attached to Iron Man. Just throwing it out there. She's attached to Wakanda. But, okay.
If a story is really good and it's enjoyable, etc., you're not going to need to have it piggyback off of something else. And I think that whenever they see a show that seems like gender swapped or race swapped or some other sort of swap, people are automatically, like against it, right?
And there you have it. One more time, for those of you who need to hear it. He's explaining exactly the fake outrage, even his fake outrage.
See a show that seems like gender swapped or race swapped, like gender swapped or race swapped. Oh, that seems like gender swapped or race swapped.
Yet,
And Ironheart creator was
who was created 2016, her Iron Man suit, Watson and MIT, becoming Ironheart. This is the comic adaptation of this character, but it has nothing to do with this character, because this character origins comes from what movie? Oh yeah, a little billion-dollar movie called Wakanda Forever. Oh, I'm sorry, a $900 million movie. You know, that little small picture called Wakanda Forever. Yeah, that's where she's from. That's her origin to the audience. They have already seen this woman. Her target audience has already seen her. We know who she is. That is the literal problem here, is that the fake outrage that they're trying to do and try to kill her character, kill what she's got going for herself, is insane.
Oh, that seems like gender swapped or race swapped or some other sort of swap. People are automatically, like against it, right?
And there it is. The people that are automatically against it, the people this show is not for, never have been for, and they are not invited to the cookout. Those folks are trying to even kill this show before it even starts. He even looks at what was it, Critical Drinker? Yeah, this guy is someone that has been watches. Grifter who honestly repeats the same old stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again. So don't get me started. So instead of listening to two grifters on the internet who have no invested interest in seeing the growth of the Marvel property, but they'd rather make a shit ton of profit off of talking about how bad it is, I'm going to give you a real source, and hopefully you take this to heart. Everywhere, always, one of my favorite YouTubers who actually has real scoops like Cosmic Wonder, Emergency Awesome, Screen Rant, and New Rockstars actually know people who have actually seen the first 3 episodes that we're going to view tomorrow, and he has the scoop. So let's check it out.
Months now, and compared to a show like, say, Daredevil Born Again, where at this point we had already had several trailers and TV spots, they decided to hold all the promo, all the trailer footage until about a month before its drop. Now, usually this indicates that Marvel Studios is not too high on the show, and in fact, their release schedule would also indicate this. Much like Echo, they're basically dropping.
So you hear right there, he's keeping it real with you and letting you know. Same thing that most people think, that they're going to drop a bunch of stuff at one time. They're not really high on it. Here's the twist.
The whole series within 1 week. And keep in mind, I first saw the first trailer for this all the way back in 2022, almost 3 full years ago. This does not spell Disney and Marvel being confident in this project is something that they want to promote. However, I spoke to 2 sources who have seen varying amounts of the Ironheart series over the last week, and what they had to say about the series actually sort of surprised me. I'm going to break down exactly what they said in their early opinions of Ironheart, but first, if you could grab the subscribe.
He said, actually surprised me. Yeah.
Button. Thanks to everything I've been told about Ironheart. First up, overall, I've been told it's actually pretty good.
Pretty good? What? Actually pretty good. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Actually pretty good. That actually from inside sources are actually saying is pretty good. But what are the grifters going to do? They're going to tell you it's bad. They're going to tell you it's bad, and they never even seen it.
It is nowhere near as bad as some of those early Disney Plus shows. Side note, even though it was an artifact of the regime of Bob Chapek, where he was basically instructing Marvel to produce anything and everything they could, it is significantly better than the earlier offerings in Phase 4 and Phase 5 on Disney Plus. The next thing I was told is that there were pacing issues within a couple of the episodes during the show. Now look, that's nothing new for Disney Plus. It's been my #1 gripe the entire time, is that they...
And that's actually been my #1 complaint the entire time as well. It's that some of the pacing seemed off. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier was like a really good movie and pretty weird middle. And then boom, back to a really good movie again. The reason I think people don't like Hawkeye is because Hawkeye pacing is weird. It just seems like it was shot in a sequence and put together in a way that it was like they were like, oh, we're gonna go dark or we're gonna go comedy, and then they went for the middle. But I like Hawkeye.
They don't know how to pace TV shows, so I am not surprised to hear this at all. It also indicates why they chose to release it with 3 episodes the first week, 3 episodes the second week, sort of balance out that awkward pacing in a couple of the episodes by giving us more of the story all at once. That makes sense. But I'm also going to do a little inference here and read between the lines. That awkward pacing is most likely due to over-editing where, like Echo, they carved out huge chunks of the series because it simply didn't work, and that oftentimes can create some holes or basically awkward time jumps in scenes that don't seem to make sense.
Again, and this is an in-depth thought about the series in a whole from someone's information. So people who've seen the trailer and like, oh, it's a mess, they're gonna release it all at once. It's just grifters being grifters, bro. And it's just like, it's okay. It's okay. You make content on YouTube to get bill. It's not actually. It's not okay. You're a pretty scummy human being. You need to actually do something else. But whatever. It's not the case. Not the case.
Now, on a super positive note, I was told that the CGI is some of the best ever offered by Disney Plus, and
Hold up.
this is a huge, huge relief because the CGI has been another huge problem. Obviously, shows like She-Hulk, where she looked like Gumby in half of those office scenes,
Maybe, just maybe, that's why it took so long to get this project out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Could that be the reason why it took so long? Is that why? Is that what's going on? Is that what's changing the game? Is that CGI had to be good for a heavy CGI film? Like, I just go watch this video. I'll link it in the description. You can go check this video out. But like, listen, man, don't just follow these cult like atmospheres on the internet. Have your own brain. Make your own decisions. Seriously. Well, that's more than enough that I have to say. I'll come back. If I have to eat crow and it's actually bad, then I'll come back and I'll tell you it's bad. But I'm not going to sit here and falsely just follow a narrative because some people will hurt to see a black person lead, to see a black woman lead. Ironheart Conception is a legacy character to Iron Man because Iron Man didn't have an effing legacy character. But her presence in the MCU does not come from that. It comes from her connection to the Wakanda. So give the goddamn show a chance. Later. In closing, magic, tech, we're getting closer to Doom. So this might have more than you think. Hell, even Mephisto might be here. Don't tell Heavy Rock Stars. I'd be pissed. I'm out, man. Just a regular guy who likes comics and anime. And, you know, common sense. Peace, everyone.